of some
Recording in
land.
progress.
More the school district, since you're the largest property owner in the city, but both of us are cash poor. And so what I was looking at was to see if the school district would be interested in a partnership where we we use the district office on Reina Del Mar as a corporation yard for our corporation yard needs, because the district already has theirs there. And then we would build the district a district office, and possibly, depending on the feasibility study, financing, etc., our council chambers on the first floor of the present corporation yard at Malagra and Oceana Boulevard. And then above it, we would look to be building affordable housing units. And it has pencil counters that are a higher pay grade than you or I have to be there to do it. And so the city's willing to pay for the study to see if this is financially feasible. We would be putting out an RFP, and then we would take and move forward or review the recommendations. If you vote tonight, all you would be voting for is for the city to move forward with the study. And Heather has said that come July or August, you should be able to have your staff be able to cooperate with the consultant to, answer the questions, the studies or whatever. The city staff would probably be working ahead of time, and we would also be reaching out to some sort of nonprofit housing managers such as Midpen, Bridge, or whatever, as they would be managing the affordable housing above the first floor and shared space on the bottom floor. So that's it. Any questions, or anybody want to ask? Or
just FYI, this is just an informational item. No vote is needed. So Nita, you look like you have a question.
You can start with Trustee Patel. I was going to go around the room, but go ahead.
No questions. Thank you. This is a very interesting study. I'm interested in it.
Trustee Villalobos?
Well, I can barely hear you. I don't know if that's on my end. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I have a few questions. The first one is, when is the mandate due for the affordable housing?
The RENA numbers, Kevin might be able to answer this, but I think it's over 20 years, something like that. Pacifica has to build approximately 1,900 housing units. The last time our RENA number was 400, and we built, I think it was 40. Kevin might correct me if I was mistaken.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, honorable trustees. Kevin Woodhouse, city manager of Pacifica. And the RENA allocation is actually for the next 7 years of, what we're due to build.
So the housing itself needs to be built by 2029. Is that what you're saying?
That's the theory.
Okay, so it's not like 10 to 20 years then for the partnership. It's more.
Well, the partnership would be pretty much permanent, because you're giving up your space and we're moving our space. You know what I mean? It's pretty much. I'm not talking about the feasibility. I mean, we could all say no to the feasibility study, but if we start turning dirt and moving trucks and stuff, it would be a permanent relationship, yes. Which at some point, I actually think, when I first started on the school board, the city actually maintained all the ball fields for the school district, the sports fields. And the deal was the school district paid for the water, and the city cut the lawns, fertilized, and took care of the garbage and everything. And that was a partnership, because the attitude was that it was a park and rec function. that fell by the wayside while I was on the school board. So I'm also hoping that if our corporation yards are together, maybe if you need a dump truck, then we only need one dump truck. The city shares it with the school district, or a backhoe or whatever. Obviously, we have fire engines, you don't need them, so that would remain our thing. You know what I mean? As school buses would remain yours, yes.
So what kind of commitment would Pacifica School District have in the partnership? Would it be monetary? Are you talking about exchanging properties for
That
office?
That I would feel is something that we're going to have to negotiate with. It's all up to negotiation right now. The study, if you approve it, right now the study would only look at the financial viability of the outcome, and it might come in and say no, this is not worth it at all, or it could come in and say this is the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? But then at that point is when we would do the negotiations, because there would be a third party involved, the nonprofit housing people that would be building the units above the school district. So right now it's just basically a indication of, are you willing to look at it and have a study? And I don't want to presume what the financial commitment of anybody would be. I would think most of it would be on the city, because you're kind of giving us your land, or maybe it's the formation of a joint powers agreement. I don't know how that would end up. That's all subject to negotiations.
Going to go around the room before I get to my questions. Trustee Burkini?
I think we should definitely move forward and find out the feasibility. Obviously we'd have to work on real properties and making sure everybody's getting a fair deal if we would actually get to that point. But I'm fine to move forward, at least just to see what we've got. And it sounds like the city actually already voted to pay for that part. So anyway, that's it.
I would like to indicate though too, it could be potentially beneficial to the school district, because as I'm sure you're all familiar with where this is, the Lagra and Oceana, right? That is a good location. It's right near a freeway entrance. It's right near grocery stores. It's also near both a high school as well as a grammar school. So it's a good location that could actually, help the people living there. And I won't be on the council because I'm not going to be on the council after December. But I think there's a potential we could actually have family housing there. Right now we have 4 senior housing complexes in town, and we have none for family affordable housing. So you could potentially actually get more ADA at that point.
Okay. Trustee Burdell?
No questions. I think it is definitely worth looking into and going forward with the feasibility study.
I might be repeating myself, but did I get you, Trustee Patel? It's all blurring together.
You did. And Trustee Doggett, I'm having a little hard time hearing you as well. So if you wouldn't mind just speaking up a touch, that would be great.
Will do. All right. So I actually asked for this to be on the agenda tonight because I just wasn't aware of it at all. I know it's something in the future, but my question is, do you all already have this private partner? Because I'm curious to know who that might be.
The city manager just kind of started calling it a private partnership. I would imagine this division, obviously 2 partners would be the 2 public entities, the city of Pacifica and the school district. The third would be the developer of and builder and possibly the manager of the nonprofit housing. And that would be yet to be determined. Because we'd be talking to Mid-Peninsula, which builds, housing complexes, bridge housing, which we actually do have some experience with since they manage a couple of the nonprofit housing here in Pacifica. So those are the two main names we would look at. But I think that part would also go out to an RFP to see who would be the entity that would do that. Did you want to say something about that, Kevin, or?
No, that summarizes it accurately. Thanks.
I mean, who knows? At that point, it might be the county building housing. I don't know.
And when will this feasibility study? I know that you all passed it to be done, but do you have a timeline on when it will be done?
Probably before the end of December, before the end of 2022, I would guess, because I know the school district's constrained due to, the issues all schools are facing right now. So I imagine a lot of the legwork with the city and the nonprofit housing could be done prior to engaging the school district. And then Heather said your staffing allows looking at it maybe July or August. So I would assume on my part that it would be done October, November this year. And that would probably depend on the RFP that we send out. The city, I mean.
I have a comment. I didn't know anything about this either. And so in the future, I think that it would be best to have joint meetings with the city and Pacifica school districts so all board members are aware and that it's completely transparent. One of my other questions, oh, I just lost it. Never mind. But I would just ask, in the future, if this sounds like something that's monumental and big. And when I was watching the meeting myself, Council Member Big Stick actually said, well, can we wait until April? And I was like, yes, let's wait because I don't have enough information. And unfortunately, everybody voted 5-0 to go ahead with it. And I just felt like, that all the board members needed to be involved with the decision-making process on that, especially in a partnership. So if we move forward, is it possible to have joint meetings when this is agendized?
That's up to the school board to do that. The city, we did it at the subcommittee level and, we did it in our public meeting and now it's coming to the school board. I think if we get into, let's say the study comes out and shows that it's financially feasible or viable, to move forward, then at that point, I think, how the negotiations happen, whether it's subcommittee, council to council, city manager to superintendent, lawyer to lawyer, I think that'll be determined. But right now, all we're looking at is to see if the school district is in support of the feasibility study, which the city will pay for, and whether or not you're willing to look at possibly helping get some affordable housing. Because we don't have a lot of space to donate. And that's the key factor in affordable housing right now is the land.
Great. Are there any more questions, comments? All right. Thank you for joining us. That was helpful.
Thank you, City of Pacifica, Kevin and Mike, for joining us.
And I'd also like, if any of you do have a question, please feel free to email or call me. Heather has both the email and the number, and I'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one or not more than 3 of you, but you know what I mean, type of thing. So I guess Heather will let us know whether or not you decide to move forward with it. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Hope you finish your meeting. Ours have been canceled a couple times because of Zoom. So.
Oh my gosh, well.
Good luck. Bye. Thanks.
So we didn't agendize this as a decision-making meeting and as a decision item. It was more of an informational item for the reason being that the city is paying for the study. So
I just so you know, I just happened to catch the meeting and I was like, I don't know anything about this. So it was one of those, I felt a little blindsided. So I wanted to make sure we discussed it because it involves the school district.
Yeah.
So going forward, I just wanted to make sure that we knew what was happening.
Absolutely. It's not my intention to surprise you. I will tell you that they have been very understanding in terms of the timeline. They're interested in getting started just because these things take so long and trying to get those things started, but they realize that we have little staff capacity to be working on this. We also said we weren't interested in anything that was going to distract from our ability to build our workforce housing at Odstead, that was the majority of our attention. And so this one went much more quickly than I thought.
That was one of the things I was thinking about as we were discussing it is, you know, what are our priorities is having a new office and exchanging land and affordable housing, which the city's commitment is that part of our plan as well? Because, you know, right now we know where we are as far as the students and trying to catch them up. You know, 3 years from now, you know, what is our budget going to be? You know, so 7 years from now, when this is supposed to be completed, you know, it's a lot of unforeseen on what it could be. But most importantly, I just want to make it clear that if we choose, you know, at a later time to go forward with it, that all the board members are present if it's a partnership, that there's no unofficial meetings on it, that it's a meeting with, you know, a joint meeting with City Council and Pacifica School Board, so that every board member is getting the same information on what the project is going to be.
Sure.
All right, I think next up on the agenda is review of communication. Olson.
Yep. This also is a trustee request in terms of an opportunity for discussion. And if we think about this last year and returning to school and all of the challenges that go around with communication, there certainly is lots of opportunity for improvement. And so I just provided just a little bit of information around the multiple sources of communication that come from the district, and also some data that came from the most recent December 2021 panorama survey. So I will open it up for discussion on district communication.
Right, I'll go around the room. Trustee Burkini.
Well, I think I talked to Dr. Olson a little bit around this. I think that some of this may, you know, we need to talk to LSEA and CSEA about it, but might be a little bit of email fatigue. And also just the fact with COVID, you know, staff isn't able to just hop on campus and visit and have as many face-to-face interactions. So I think, I guess I was giving a little empathy to the district that with the low numbers around teacher communication, that it's more of a exhaustion and COVID result than an actual lack of communication. But I'm not sure how to really fix that, or anyway. So that was just my comment about it. That's it.
Trustee Patel.
Yeah, I think, you know, my only comment is and I mentioned this to Superintendent Olson when I met, is I don't know that the answer is doing more, that there's a lack of, but is there kind of a maybe refinement and focus on a few, kind of impactful ways to communicate? Because I know just as a board member, I get a lot of materials, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with and to understand the changes. And so sometimes fewer messages can be more impactful.
That actually was something that I hadn't thought about, right? Because if in fact in a district people want more communication, you give them more, right? And I that discussion really helped me think about, okay, how could we be more impactful?
Trustee Bradal?
No, I think COVID has definitely changed everything with the communication, and where people used to get together around, the quote is around the water cooler and be able to talk. That's not happening. And even with the trustees, we would get together for dinner. So that's all changed. And the closeness and all that has changed. So I'm sure that's affecting, all of the employees at every level and the students. So just a hard time right now. And I don't know the real answer to how to increase that, because yes, Zoom and email, there is a fatigue there. So back in person is gonna help definitely, and just everyone trying to reconnect. I think everyone's been disconnected the last year or two.
Trustee Villalobos?
Oh, I'm just looking at the how helpful has the communication from the district been this school year from the certificated staff. And I'm wondering if there were any comments or notes on the survey around that.
There weren't. It didn't ask for individual comments on it.
I feel the fatigue. I understand that it's just difficult, and I don't have any answers. I understand the problem, but at the same time, I'm like, I get that we're all struggling with all of it together. It's just a lot. So don't have anything else to really contribute to that. And that was just an informational item as well.
It was.
Okay. So the next is authorization to enter into contract with Pacifica School District roof repair at various sites. Mrs. Peterson?
Thank you, Trustee Doggett. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me okay? Good. Okay, because we're still without power here in Valleymar. So our facilities department, both Cece and George, have been very busy these last few weeks. We've had several bid walks going through the office. And tonight we're asking the board to authorize staff to enter into contract with the lowest responsible bidder for the Pacifica School District roof repair and replacement at various sites. And they have narrowed it down to the Cabrillo main corridor roof and re-roof and Ocean Shore roof were the alternatives in addition to Ortega. So I have the item here, it's not on the screen, but we did have 3 bidders, Andy's Roofing, Best Contracting Services, and Stronger Building Services. And the base bid, the lowest bidder was Andy's Roofing. And so the recommendation that we are making tonight is that we accept Andy's Roofing and also select alternate 1, which is the Ortega roof project. And that way Cece can get these 2 jobs done this summer. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
All right, I will go around the room for questions. Trustee Villalobos?
No questions.
Trustee Bradal?
No questions, other than just a comment that there was such a variation in the bids that really startled me.
Yes.
Trustee Patel,
No question.
and Trustee Burkini.
No questions.
Do I have a motion to approve the contract for the Pacifica School District roof repair at various sites?
I'll motion to approve the roofing contract.
And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Barbara, will you take the roll call vote?
Yes. Trustee Verdal?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Burkini?
Yes.
Trustee Doggett?
Yes.
Trustee Patel?
Yes.
Trustee Villalobos?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, resolution 2022, let's see, 29, 30-day continuance for virtual board meetings. So go ahead, Dr. Olson.
It's my recommendation that we go one more month with virtual board meetings. The reason being that I'm homesick today and wouldn't be able to be at a meeting with you. And I just think as much as we're not at 70 and 80 numbers of COVID, but we were at 38 last week, which is still very, very high. And it's, I think, as people are having COVID related cases in their family, it would be my recommendation for us to do it for one more month. Any questions?
Going around the room, Trustee Bradal,
And no questions.
Trustee Burkini,
No questions.
Trustee Villalobos.
Just to comment that I'm one of those who whose family did catch COVID and in the house. So I thought it was very timely that Dr. Olson had us go virtual, because that was a very, concerning time. So everybody's okay now, but it's still out there and it's happening still.
Trustee Patel.
No questions.
Right. Do I have a motion to pass this resolution to go virtual for another 30 days?
I'll make a motion to go virtual for another 30 days for the board meetings.
And do I have a second? I will second it.
I'll second. Okay, either way.
All right, Barbara, can you take the roll call, please?
Sure. Trustee Verdal?
Yes.
Trustee Burkini?
Yes.
Trustee Doggett?
Yes.
Trustee Patel?
Yes.
Trustee Villalobos?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
And future agenda items, Dr. Olson. Did we lose Dr. Olson?
You're muted.
You're muted. Okay, there you are.
Okay, there we go. If you can see my screen with the future agenda items, that meeting on March 9th is going to be a very long one. Typically, that's where we do an LCAP update as well as a bond update. We would do the parcel tax oversight and the bond oversight committees. Those we put off in meeting in January because of Omicron. And like I said before, we want to do the district proposal for CSEA negotiations. So we would bring back ideas for expanded learning opportunities. We could do at the March 30th board meeting. So I ask, but not that there's a lot of room, but are there any topics that you need to hear from in that next meeting on March 9th?
I will quickly go around the room. Trustee Patel.
Nothing to add to that list.
Okay, Trustee Villalobos.
Nothing to add.
Trustee Burkini.
Nothing to add.
And Trustee Bradal.
Nothing to add, no.
I won't be adding anything.
Thank you.
So I didn't skip anything this time. Did I miss anything? It was a little hard to read the script, but if there's nothing else, we can adjourn the meeting at 9:01 p.m.
Almost an hour early. Have a good trip, Elizabeth. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Have a great
Good night.
evening.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.